Hi everybody, my name is Don. I am going to be instructing Canine CPR this evening. This is an informational class, provides the ideas and techniques behind CPR for the dog. I myself participate in multiple dog sports, train many rescue dogs, kind of got a little bit of a wide background, so this is something that's very important to me because you never know at what time you might need to help a dog that goes down. So, and I'm not sure how many people out there actually learn canine CPR, but it is a pretty invaluable tool. So, as I'm sure all of you know, today's dogs are members of the family, and it pays to know how to perform CPR. CPR on the dog follows the same idea and technique as CPR on a human. The rule of ABCs, or airway, breathing, circulation, apply. The way it's done is almost the same as a human. It's just, of course, different because the anatomy of the dog is different than the anatomy of the human. Excuse me. The intent of CPR is to provide sufficient blood flow and oxygen to the brain and vital organs to support life until more advanced medical therapy can be sustained. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure the dog is actually unconscious. You want to gently shake the dog and call their name. If you start doing chest compressions on a dog that is not unconscious, you're probably going to pay for it. I mean, you wouldn't want to be laying there and someone run up to you all of a sudden and start pushing up your chest. You're probably going to come up swinging. So please make sure the dog is actually unconscious and just not sleeping heavily. The first thing you're going to want to do is check for breathing. You want to look for chest rise and fall. Listen for your dog breathing. If there's no breathing evident after 10 seconds, begin rescue breathing at a rate of 12 times a minute. That's about once every 5 seconds. Checking for a pulse. This would be the second step. Circulation. Areas to check are below the wrist, the inner thigh, below the ankle, and where the left elbow touches the chest. If I can get my little demo partner back there. Cody! Cody! Come here, buddy. Come here. Oh, okay.
Cody.
So, you're going to check below the wrist, on the inner thigh, the femoral artery runs through there, you can feel it, or below the ankle on the inside, or where his elbow touches his chest there. If you can feel his heartbeat. So, you gonna hang out with me for a minute? Okay, if you don't have any breathing and you don't feel a pulse, it's time to start CPR. Alright, sit. And wait. You want to ensure the airway is clear. Carefully pull the tongue straight out of the dog's mouth, which brings it off the back of the throat, opens the airway. I'm not going to try to do that with Cody, he probably wouldn't appreciate it. So. Warning, even an unresponsive dog may bite by instinct. It's just touching their mouth and they kind of like the whole, Cody. It's kind of like the whole alligator thing, you know, they say you touch the alligator and they automatically slam. You do the same thing. You want to make sure the neck is reasonably straight. Try to bring the head in line with the neck. Just think about how a dog sits or lays as they're breathing. It's the same thing. You just want to do it. Another warning, you don't want to try to straighten or move it too much in cases where you may think they have neck trauma, facial trauma. Just do the best you can. If you don't, if you're not able to get any air in there, get them to the vet as soon as possible. After positioning the airway, you want to give 2 breaths by closing the mouth and performing mouth-to-nose breathing. If you're unsuccessful, check the airway for obstruction, reposition, and try again. And if I can get my helper again, Cody. Come here, Cody. Cody. Come on. I'll demonstrate this also. Okay. So all you're going to do is just hold their nose like that and just blow. Is that okay? That was good.
Aw, good Cody.
This time we're going to pass out the training tools here. Who wants to get that? And you guys can give that a try. Like I said, just hold the snout closed, breathe through the nose. Make sure you breathe in and you don't suck.
Every 5 seconds?
2 breaths.
For rescue breathing,
2 breaths.
yeah, 12 breaths, 1 every 5 seconds, or 12 times a minute. Everybody feel pretty comfortable with that?
Yes.
And then here we have breathe at 12 breaths per minute or 1 every 5 seconds. You want to breathe hard enough so you can see the chest rise, but not too hard, because if you overinflate, you may push air down into the abdomen, cause them to aspirate and all that stuff coming up. If they suck that in their lungs, you got a whole nother world problem. Of course, smaller dogs, you may just be a puff. You know. Bigger dogs, you may actually have to get the lungs to come apart. All right, the next step when there's no pulse is make sure there's no major bleeding and then control it as necessary. You want to just look, see, make sure they're not bleeding out anywhere. Kind of defeats the purpose of CPR if there's no blood in the system to move the oxygen that you're trying to provide them. Try to apply direct pressure. It's the same, I'm sure most people have had first aid. Get something on it, direct pressure. If that soaks through, just add to it, but don't remove it. Just try to get that bleeding stopped. All right, now we're going to go over how to actually do the compressions and where you do it. So the first thing you want to do is lay the dog on the right side. And get Cody. Come here, buddy. Come here, Cody. Come here. Oh, what are you going to do to me now? All right. Let's get over on this side and go do this right here. Okay. Yep. All right. Ready? Okay. Good. Now, lay down. Good. He says, no, I don't think so. Good. You gonna try this one more time, Stinker? Okay, there you go. No, all right. That's not gonna work. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put him on the floor. I'm gonna try on the floor, and hopefully you guys can see. All right. Good. Good. Lay down. Oh, good boy. Lay down. On your side. There you go. Good boy. So what I'm going to do is where his left elbow touches his chest right here, I'm going to put the heel of my hand there, the other one on top, just like adult CPR, and then that's where you will actually push. Lay over. Lay. Wait. Good boy. So you just like that, over, and the same thing. And the technique's actually the same. You want to be over the top of them, you want your elbows slightly bent, and you want to kind of push, and you want to push hard enough that you're moving. All right.
Good job.
So everybody give that a try. And then it's ½ inch for small dogs, 1 inch for medium, and 1.5 inch for large. So what I'm gonna do is, I have a simulated small dog here, our high-tech training tools. And I'm gonna pass that around, so if you wanna start with the small one, and just kinda
Here's the big dog.
1 inch, and then try the big one.
So this one would be 1 inch.
And I almost equate doing chest compressions on a small dog like infant CPR or child CPR. You may not get both hands on them. It may be one hand. It may be fingers, depending on the size of the dog. The idea is just make sure you place in your hand or your fingers where the left elbow meets the chest, because that's right above the heart, and you're pushing hard enough to actually move, to be moving the blood. So
Just keep dogs.
Yes.
yeah, because I mean, if you get like a little teacup chihuahua, you're not going to be able, both my hands would cover, keep, a little chihuahua like that, so I'm doing fingers. Everybody get a change to try that. Okay, big warning, pretty obvious, do not perform chest compressions on a dog with a pulse. If the heart's already beating, you don't want to do anything that may cause it to stop or injure it or damage it. If you're not sure, I'd probably err on the side of caution and maybe not do it, but. Okay, so you're gonna do chest compressions for a minute, and then you're gonna check and see if the dog has a pulse. As he started breathing again. And you're only going to stop if they have started to respond again, they got a pulse back. Either breathing or veterinary personnel or somebody who's trained has come in and can take over for you. Or you can no longer continue. I mean, you can only do what you can do. I mean, you go as far as you can. I actually read something that said 10 minutes. I think if my dog's laying on the ground, I'm not going 10 minutes, I'm going until I fall over if nobody's there to help me. So, all right, post CPR. This is after you've done CPR, the dog's responded back. Or this could also be, you got the dog on your lap and you're doing CPR, because you could lay him on your lap and you're doing CPR and somebody's driving you to the vet. So, you want to try to call ahead and give the vet the following information: your name, dog's name, how soon you're going to be there, what you've done so far as we've been doing CPR for this long, we did rescue breathing for this long, we had to do direct pressure, stop a bleeding, wherever. You want to let them know the dog's breed and the size of the dog, if a poison or medication's been eaten. And it also could be, did they get into a whole bunch of mushrooms? It could be something food related, so you may let them know that. You also want to let them know the mechanism. If there is a mechanism of injury, let them know what that is. If we hit by a car, did the dog, get in a fight with another dog, something, fall off a cliff out here, I guess, it could happen. And any relevant medical history. Does the dog have, whatever case, epilepsy or something along those lines. And during emergency, it's important that we remain calm. Everybody here knows, you guys done enough training, the dog responds to how you're acting. So if you're nervous and uneasy and going on, they're going to get all, and you can't tell them what's going on. So it's just important to remain calm, try to keep the dog calm. So do you guys have any questions?
What if there's like a broken limb? Do you pay attention to how do you secure the bleeding first, or do you start the CPR first?
Well, if it's a broken limb, if it's a compound.
If there's a cut or something.
Right. If it's like pouring blood, like red blood's just spurting and coming out, then control it. If it's just kind of lightly bleeding and oozing, CPR first.
Okay.
Because hopefully as you're doing CPR, you can direct somebody to say, hey, can you know, put something on that, so. Any other questions?
Has any of these techniques proved to be difficult with the dogs that have the real flat noses, such as the bulldogs and the pugs and Boston Terriers and such like that? Has any of these techniques been?
I didn't find any research saying that there was any difference in the breeds. Basically, it just, everything that I read, it's the technique is the same no matter the breed. You may have to blow a little bit harder because they do have a flat nose and they have a smaller, like, sinus cavity, but, you know, as far as the technique goes, it's the same.
Also, I remember years and years ago, probably 30 years ago when I learned CPR, they had us doing a breath and then so many compressions, and then a breath and then so many compressions. But I've been reading recently that it's now the case where as you're giving compressions, it's not only helping the heart, but it's also getting the lungs to activate, so you don't have to be going back and forth.
Right. It Red Cross Adult CPR now, it's no longer ABC, it's actually CAB. It's compressions, airway, and then breathing. Because what you said is true. And research is showing just by the act of doing compressions, you're moving air. My research, it didn't show that for the dogs. Because I was kind of curious on the same thing, had it switched for the dogs yet? But they're still saying,
Same thing.
you know, ABCs, check the airway,
Airways
get a
first.
breath, and then start your compressions.
Okay, that's good to know.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. You guys have been great.
Thanks, Ellen.
Thank you.